Hey guys, this is Cheeky Chipmunks coming at you with another video. Thought I'd be talking about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood today because I've just finished it and it is awesome, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about why I love it. So basically, let's review this thing. Now let's get down to the story. The first things is the story is revolving around Eric brothers, and what they're trying to do is trying to get their bodies back because they did an accident by trying to bring back a certain individual which they lost, and they're on the hunt to get their bodies back to normal. And possibly, thinking about human transmutation, basically. And one of the big things the story does revolve around is the Philosopher's Stone, which basically allows people to, amplifies the power, and means people don't actually have to do circles to perform alchemy. And that's the basics, but the story itself is very nice because it has a lot of little bits which come together in a very well-organised way. It feels very flowy. It doesn't feel too convenient to an extent, and it doesn't feel too forced in the plot points overall. It has a lot of really interesting stuff, it kind of tackles, kind of God, what kind of these people's almost has to try and become God. How do you find God? Also, stuff like experimentation, the morals of, experimentation, military experimentation, and a whole lot of other stuff it kind of looks at. And as I said, I do like the consistency of the world in this, with the rules being the rules, the whole equivalent exchange, and the fact that elements interact. Like, for example, the Flame Alchemist can't do flame with his hand wet, or whatever he's using to be wet. So I like that. Now the characters themselves, again, are very complex, like the story. They all have their reasons for wanting either Philosopher's Stone, or, whatever they're trying to basically do. They have a reason. It's not just simply, oh, I'm evil, so I'm going to do this because I'm evil, or I'm good because I'm just gonna do this just because I'm good. They have their reasons, which feel kind of realistic. They don't feel phony again, and they also change throughout the series. A lot of characters, go through a kind of growth development. They view things differently, and they interact like a person would to what's happening around them. And I very much liked how they interacted with each other as well, especially Elric brothers. Felt like brothers, they squabbled, they had their moments of ups and downs, but they were always there for each other overall, And I especially also like the relationship between Hawkeye and Roy Mustang, they respected each other, and I liked how almost like freaking Hawkeye was like the mum of the Flame Alchemist, Roy Mustang. And, they always had a respect, they had a bit of banter, and I liked that it didn't go too romantic, it wasn't too slutty. But the characters overall were done very well, and I liked the voice acting as well. I watched a dub, probably one of the best dubs I've seen. Literally, there were so many different voice actors for such a huge cast of characters. They all had a very nice little distinctive character voice going on. They all managed to pull off the scenes they needed to pull off, emotional scenes, and they didn't feel too monotone. And it all felt very distinctive. Again, my favourite being Roy Mustang. I don't have a hard-on for this guy, I promise. But he had a very cocky, kind of deep voice, and felt, he had a very nice kind of authoritative voice. When he throwed stuff down, he was talking business. Also, I really did like the kind of Eric brothers voice actors. Again, they managed to pull off the kind of joking side and the serious side very well. And there's no real voice actors who I can complain about. I mean, one thing I would say maybe on the characters front is the homunculus were done slightly better than the original Fullmetal Alchemist. I felt they had more depth. In here, the one which I feel had a lot of character development was Greed. I do feel like Gluttony and some of the others had hardly any development compared to before. In the original series, I know there were more backstories on them. But they still felt menacing, and they still felt like they had a bit of character to them overall. Now, the animation for this stuff, my god, it's like eye sex. It is, because the battles are probably one of the best fighting choreographies I have seen. They remind me of kind of Darker Than Black. In a way minimalistic, and it's very much focused on every hit feels like it's hitting hard. It doesn't feel like they've been hit with a pillow, or they've been hit with a pillow. The elements interacted very nicely, and I like how they fought very smartly. They used the environment. They looked like proper karate moves at some of them, because it looked very like someone had studied fighting moves a little bit, and they all had a little distinctive way of fighting, basically. And also the facial expression animation was very nicely done, you know, very subtle most of the part, obviously apart from the extreme expressions which I know anime tends to have. I do feel they maybe over-relied on that at the start. They kind of tamed down towards the middle and end, which was good because it has some points where it was like almost taking me out of it. That's really the main complaint I have about the animation, but really that's like a minor thing, and it wasn't even for much of a series. So it is beautiful animation overall, and the artwork again for the characters is very distinctive. It didn't feel too over exaggerated, but it still felt like they all had their own little quirks in design. And the world is very interestingly designed. I do love the homunculus designs; they're awesome. And I really like Faber's, or let's say one of the characters, almost underground kind of like base. So it's really cool art, and I really can't think of many criticisms to give this because I honestly did enjoy it. It was really good story, really awesome animation, great characters, and just a lot to delve your teeth into. So I'd say definitely buy it if you see it, and it is really a 9 out of 10 for me. You know, it's one of my top 10 really at the end of the day, and it definitely comes on par with the original Fullmetal Alchemist. I'm watching a race right now, so that's hopefully going to be my next video of a little review of that. But this is Cheeky Chipmunk signing out. Hope you guys have a lovely day and enjoy the rest.